Good morning, friends. Today is Saturday, December 19th, I think, and I have spent the last hour or so relaxing in front of the TV, eating my breakfast and drinking some coffee. Today it's the last push for me to get everything out in the mail. My plan has been because I decided last minute I wanted to make my boyfriend's sister a project bag. No, not a project bag, a notions pouch for Christmas. Because she's a new knitter. I taught her how to knit a couple of years ago. She is a recovering alcoholic. She's sober and has been sober for a couple of years, and we're all really, really proud of her. I'm very proud of her because of the sobriety, but also because she's really taken up knitting and has gotten really good at it. She just recently finished a nurtured sweater. We did it at the same time, and it's the first sweater she's ever knit for herself and her second sweater ever, and I thought she did an amazing job. Anyway, she asked for knitting notions for Christmas, and she doesn't watch this as far as I know, so I'm safe to talk about it. But I got her a couple of nice little notions at Brooklyn General where I work, and I wanted to make a notions pouch because the notions pouches we had at Brooklyn General were either A, too expensive, or B, too small to contain everything that I bought. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll just whip this up. I had this idea that I was going to do a quilted notions pouch. So I was like designing it and then all stressed out about the time frame. And then I was like, oh, I'll just take some of the Christmas tree skirt quilt pieces, offcuts, and make it from that. So that necessitated me doing the tree skirt much quicker than I would have otherwise. Anyway, I mean, things always take longer than I think they're going to. And so now it's December 19th and I still have not even started her little notions pouch. And I already texted her and said, I'm so sorry, but your Christmas present's going to be late, and she's okay with it. She sent me something that's going to be late also, so I'm very relieved. But today I will finally be able to assemble some of the tree blocks and then trim them so that I have offcuts with which to make a notions pouch for my dear Tim sister. I'll be doing that today. I am hopeful that I'll be able to get it finished today so that at least it can go out on Monday. Anyway, I'm going to get started. But first, I want to give you a little plant update because this baby is growing. Yay! Last time I showed this to you, this guy was right about here, was this tall. That was 2 days ago. And so he's gone up to there. And then I guess there's a little secondary shoot right there on the right, and this one has also been growing, so I'm so happy that I gave it some extra water because clearly they needed it. This one over here is also, I'm not sure that that's gonna grow because it looks like a new shoot, but it's still brown and has not opened up at all, but maybe. Anyway, it's my goal this year to get better at plants. It doesn't seem normal to me that a plant would be growing in the wintertime, but nothing about this year is normal. I have trees! Yay! These are the two main tree types.
All the plaids are exactly the same, but the trunk, it's got two varieties, this solid brown and this also plaid. I'm actually really glad that I did that because it's about half and half, so these can alternate. Because I love this, but this is definitely way too busy if they were all this. And I feel like other people probably have a different opinion, but it would be a little boring if it was. No, it wouldn't be boring, but whatever. It's balanced out by this, I think. And then these two are sort of just outliers. There's one of each of these kind. So all the rest are that plaid or, or the solid. Yay, I'm so excited. This is like really exciting because obviously it's like the culmination of all the, you know, kind of weeks of work that I've been doing. Also though, I noticed that when I was doing this step, I was kind of rushing through it because I really want to use these offcuts. It kind of feels a little wasteful. Like those blocks were sewn on the diagonal and then it's just, you cut this off and you're supposed to throw it away, and there's 20 blocks and 2 of these for each. So I'm gonna use some of this to make a little notions bag for Brittany, Tim's sister. And I think I'm gonna stop here on this so that I can do this, because once I finish this and send it out in the mail, I will not feel rushed anymore and I can just relax and do this part slowly, because this is the most difficult part. Getting these seams to match up is the most challenging part, and I did it well. And I'm really happy with the way it looks, but it's a little tedious, and I don't want to do anything tedious when I feel rushed because I will not enjoy it, and the point is to enjoy this project. So I'm going to do that probably for the rest of the day and continue with this on our next Vlogmas. But that's going to be really exciting because we'll start to see things come together. Before I move on, I'd really like to talk to you about the way I did this and the way I made these seams match up. As you can see from this, my cutting was really wildly different. Like this is all supposed to line up, and this is like ½ an inch shorter than this. So I realized as I was putting these together that this is the side that matters. As you can see, looks like that. This side is cut off. So I decided to line them up over here. You know, that also kind of, because I, you know, didn't sew them perfectly, like everybody doesn't sew perfectly. I feel like these are not exact widths, and like I was worried that they wouldn't match, the widths wouldn't match, so that the seams wouldn't match. But what I did, this is a trick that I learned from sewing garments, because I have been doing that all my life and did it professionally for Broadway theater. When you sew 2 seams of a garment together, there are notches. So pretend this is all a solid color and it's a garment that you're gonna sew. There would be a notch here and a notch here, and there would be matching notches on the piece that you're sewing to it. So you match the notches. That's how you figure out like how to sew a seam correctly, is by matching the notches. So you match them there, and sometimes what happens is that like one layer will, the distance between the 2 notches on one layer will be a little bit longer, and the distance between the 2 notches on another layer will be a little bit shorter. So that's why you have notches, so that you can match them. You pin them, and then like sometimes it makes a bubble like this, but all you do is you just try to like distribute that excess evenly between the 2 notches, and that's called easing. So what I did on this is, instead of worrying about like getting these to line up perfectly and getting these seams to line up perfectly, is I drew the diagonal line here, and then I pinned I put a pin in each spot where the diagonal line intersected with the seam. And then I felt between the two layers to make sure that the seams were lined up and put that pin there. So as you can see, these seams are all, the seam allowances are all pressed down on this layer, and they're all pressed, oh, well, these are the same kind of block. If I were doing this correctly, they would be down on this layer and going up on the bottom layer. I really hope you guys are following this. Let me know if you have questions in the comments and I'll absolutely answer them. So the seam allowances on the bottom layer are going in the opposite direction. So that makes them sort of lay flat and fit in like puzzle pieces when you try to make sure the stitching is lining up on both of the layers. So I felt to make sure that that was the case and put a pin, and then I did sew over the pins. When I teach sewing, I tell students to never ever sew over pins, and I absolutely stand by that. But in this case, I did it, but I just did it really, really slowly so that I would make sure that the needle was skipping that pin and not like going straight into it. Because the reason that you don't sew over pins is that it can break your needle and the needle can like fly into your face, and you know, that's obviously bad. So yeah, if you're gonna do it, just do it really slowly, and sometimes you can just like use the hand wheel on your sewing machine to go over that area, and that's the safest way to do it. So yeah, that made the seams line up perfectly, and I'm really happy with the way it came out. And you know, it's like doing it that way meant that I didn't have to worry so much about my cutting being super perfect, because the way they tell you to do it in the pattern is, you know, to cut perfectly exactly, and then to sew perfectly exactly, and then to, you know, trim all your excess to make sure the square is exactly the right size, and that's how you get everything to line up. But like, I can't do that because I don't want to, and I mean, I could, but I don't want to. And this way works better for me. So I hope that helps you if you would like to do something like this someday. And yeah, I'm looking forward to doing this leisurely when I'm done with all of my shipping. Y'all, I got the Notions bag finished, and I'm bringing it to the post office right now. I got it all packaged up. I'm so happy to be done with all of my Christmas presents, and yeah, I didn't expect to be able to ship it today. I thought it would take me all day, and that I would ship it on Monday because the post office is closed tomorrow, but I finished it pretty quickly. Like 2 hours it took me? No, probably 3 hours. Anyway, it's done. Update. The post office is closed. It's only about 2:30 in the afternoon. And it's already closed. I was able to get my cards are in the mail, but this would not fit in the letterbox, so it is in fact going to be shipped out on Monday. Oh well. I just finished putting all of these together, yay! And it was actually quite a bit less tedious than I thought. Just put on some YouTube and went for it. So now I'm gonna lay them all out to plan which one goes where.
Last time I talked to you, I was coming back from the post office. After I did that, I laid on the couch and fell asleep for an hour and a half. Then Tim and I had a super late lunch. I kind of, at the end of a big push for a project like that, I usually have like an existential crisis of like, what do I do with my life now? I'm just feeling sort of bored and lonely, I guess. I don't know, it's the coronavirus way. But now I'm just going to clean up because in my rush to finish that present, my office/craft room is now extremely messy. So I might just, listen to music or put on an audiobook or something and clean and sort of leisurely craft or something. I usually clean on Saturdays, or most of the time actually I clean on, lately sometimes I clean on Friday night actually so that I can be ready for a productive day on Saturday. But I didn't do that last night because I was too tired. So anyway, yeah, I'm sort of just at the moment wanting to take the rest of the day as it comes. So I'll let you know what happens.
This is gonna be it. And I'm so happy because miraculously, without planning, I had exactly enough of these types and these types to alternate and have it work out perfectly. This is where the opening is going to be. So I'm going to have to rip them apart to get it around the base of the tree. But look at it. So pretty. I'm also so happy that I went with an all green color scheme because, man, with how big this is, that would have been so, and how small my apartment is too. Like, that would have been so intense if it was red and green. I gotta go make dinner now, but we'll see. Perhaps, now that it's coming together, it's really exciting. So perhaps I'll have time to continue. But if not, I will see you very soon. Bye-bye.